afternoon, guys. Thanks for coming down. Delighted to be hosting you today at the Watford's training ground and delighted to take part in the Mental Health World Cup. Those who are in attendance, you're really important to the Mental Health World Cup. Some of you are sponsors, some of you are charities, and some of you are top fundraisers. So we really wanted to reward you and hopefully welcome you to the training ground and be part of this special day. So it's the first time we've ever had a Watford draw. Just want to have a quick chat before we stream live. So we're scheduled to go out on YouTube in a minute. The format for today, we're just going to go through a few slides about the history of the tournament, what you can expect on the day. We're then going to reveal the teams. We've got Sam, who's going to say a few words from WD18, who's been instrumental in helping me recruit a lot of the teams for this year's tournament. And we're really delighted to have Jonathan and Matty come down and help us with the draw. Jonathan Bond and Matty Pollard currently on the team. We're hoping they're going to be here in time. So you're just going to go live on YouTube. So it might be a bit weird that I'm trying to talk to you guys, talk to the camera and all sorts, but we're kind of muddle our way through. And then afterwards we've got a training ground session. So everyone who's brought boots and kit, you get to go to the dome to have a kick about. That's today. All right, I'll just go live. Okay, good afternoon everyone. Welcome to the Mental Health World Cup draw live from Watford's training ground. Delighted to be able to host you for the first ever draw here. You guys just come take a seat, you we're streaming live on YouTube and we're really delighted to have an audience here with us. I've got a camera on the crowd, just have a quick wave, crowd. And we're delighted to have two first teamers with us today. We've got Jonathan Bond and Matty Pollard who's going to help us with the draw later today, so thank you guys for that. Delighted to be able to host the first Mental Health World Cup here live from Watford's training ground. We've got some content to go through. We just want to take you through how the Mental Health World Cup started, what it's all about, what we've got planned for the day, and then we're going to go into the draw itself, so reveal the teams. Really delighted to have in the room today, we've got nearly 30 people in the room. Everyone here is made up of either sponsors, charities, or those who we've rewarded for raising so much money over the past few months. So a lot of the teams here have raised over £1,000. So just a big round of applause for everyone in the room today. Yes, the event is about raising mental health, it's about raising awareness, but we're also looking to try and raise as much money as possible for the four mental health charities we're supporting this year. So I'll go through into the content of today. So my name is Ollie Foundation, I'm the founder of the Mental Health World Cup. I started in tragic circumstances, so I lost my youngest brother in 2012. He was 26 at the time. He was a fun, easygoing guy, and he didn't show any signs that he was suffering with depression. For anyone who's lost someone through suicide, it is really shocking, and it felt like he'd been taken away from us too soon. Playing football in my life, I wanted to try and get that message out there because I just thought if it could happen to him, it could happen to anyone. And we did loads of events that first year that he passed, but one of the things that we came up with was this idea of a Mental Health World Cup in a day. We just saw the idea of using football as a channel to do good, to get as many people as we could on the pitch through a World Cup, and whilst they're there, talk to them about mental health, talk to them about charities, and talk to them about the support that is out there. For those who don't know, it continues to be the biggest killer of men under 50, so 6,500 people die by suicide every year. So it's a real pandemic in this country and globally, and we continue to just try and raise the awareness. I think trying to remove the taboo that surrounds suicide is a big thing, but trying to get people to talk about it is a huge thing. And in those 12 years I've been working in mental health, a lot has changed, but unfortunately the stats continue to rise. So it's something that we exist to try and change that discussion and to try and stop that number from going any higher. One of the alarming things that I've noticed as well is that traditionally it's always been 3/4 of those suicides are men, but in the last year women under 24 have seen the steepest increase since records began. So if any of you know anyone in that target group, it's really worrying, and it's something that we should all be aware of, and I think just being really ultra aware of those around you. Unfortunately when my brother passed he didn't show any signs, zero, hence why we tried to do something through football to try and highlight what is a major issue in our societies. This is what it looked like in the first year that we ran it. So we called it the Land the Baron World Cup, so it was just in honour of my brother's nickname. It was just hosted in a local park in Tottenham. That's where I grew up. And in the photo you can see that's my dad holding a paper mache World Cup. So my mum was managing the cake stall, and my other brother there with the white gloves trying to respect the trophy. It started off as a kickabout. We still managed to get 32 teams that year. We raised about £1,000. But we did start something that year because we saw that there was something, people like football and like the idea of playing a World Cup in a day. But we saw that there was an opportunity to definitely grow it. Since then, we've grown it every year. Since 2012, we reached over 3,000 footballers. We had 400 at 2024. And we've raised over £500,000 since that very first event. All the profits go directly to mental health charities, so it's run entirely by volunteers. So I've got a day job. I do this on the weekends, and lunch breaks and commutes. And it relies on people on the day. So this year, because we've got 3 events, we've got 100 volunteers who are all giving up their time, helping us host this amazing event to try and raise as much money and awareness as possible. This is just a visual history of what it looked like. So from Tottenham for a few years, jumpers for goalposts. One year we invested in some Argos goalposts, which are rubbish, sorry Argos. Luckily, we could see that it was growing, and we wrote to all the Premier League clubs and all the Championship clubs. Arsenal got in touch and they said they'd love to host us, so we managed to host it at their community hub for a few years. What was great about that is it reached a whole new audience. We suddenly were getting to people that we never knew before, and it started to really gain some traction. And it was in 2018, somebody who works for QPR attended our event, really liked what we were doing, was shocked that basically we had one 7-a-side pitch divided into 2 5-a-side pitches, and we were sold out with like 20 teams sharing the pitch, and it just took all day. Justin Stone, who works for QPR, said, I can get you guys on the pitch off-season if you fancy it. And we were like, yes, please. No offence to the Watford community. But it's through that, since 2019, we've held it at QPR. Last year, we hosted a Watford Trust team on the pitch. And we were delighted to get the call from Watford Trust early last year to say we'd like to bring it to Vicarage Road. And that's where the conversation started. And we're delighted to host the first one at Watford this May. So it's been a real journey to get to this point. So many different teams have taken part, many different winners. And what's remained constant is that everyone there is there to raise money for mental health and to try and embrace what we're all about, which is just raising the awareness, removing the taboo that's around suicide. Last year we smashed anything that we've ever done before. We managed to raise 200,000 in one day across 48 teams, which battled it out for over 150 matches all day. And that went to Better, Calm and the QPR Trust. But what I've noticed over the years working in mental health is that it's very complicated. So historically I engaged with the charity Calm, for those of you that might have heard that charity, mainly because my brother was 26 and he really was into his music and sport and comedy, and they were doing things a bit different in 2012. But in those years since then, I've noticed that there's loads of really good mental health charities, and some of them are here today. And each mental health charity offers something different, offers a different route. Some of them are more softly in their approach. Some of them use community initiatives. Some of them run events in schools. So there's lots of different ways to get to people, and I was really open to try and expand our reach. So really delighted for the Watford event. We've managed to secure 4 great charities. A lot of them local. The Ollie Foundation, created by 3 parents who lost their children through suicide and have spent a lot of time getting back into schools to try and change perspective around mental health. We've also got the Hertfordshire Mind in the room as well. There we go. And yeah, everyone knows Mind, one of the UK's mainstays in the mental health space. Common Goal, some of you might not know, they're a charity run through football. Their mission is to use to connect to existing Premier League football, for any footballer, and try and get 1% of their salary and use that for good. And then we've got the Rennie Hospice, another local charity, a really powerful charity and dear to WD18's heart, and we're delighted to support them. Whilst they might not be directly linked to mental health, there's so many things associated with when you're working in a hospice that directly contribute to managing mental health and those who support those people. So delighted to have 4 great charities that we're going to try and raise a lot of money and awareness around. So here, preaching to the preach, but the people in the room, they've already hit their targets, and that's why they're lucky enough to be here today. I'm just going to go to the camera on the YouTube just to show everyone how delighted we are to host them. Some of them are a bit slow off the mark, so this is just a bit of a shout out for all those teams who are out there. They've been fundraising since the beginning of the year. The target is £1,000. It's not a lot. For 8 players, that's just over 100 quid per player. And I would say as a group, for all the 32 teams involved, we're about 50% of our target. So our aim for this year, the first year's event, is to try and raise 50 grand for mental health for the first one, which we think is a great target and we think is reachable. We just need everyone's support to continue fundraising, continue sharing that with their networks. A lot of that couldn't be done without great sponsors behind us. So delighted to have headline sponsors Go Cardless and Total Security Protection, putting their trust in us as first headline sponsors for the Mental Health World Cup at Watford, and then also supported by Celtic, Overbury, NCS and Sale Group, long-term supporters of the Mental Health World Cup, and recently acquired The Grove, again a great local business, so great to have them on board. So a really good collection of sponsors that we've taken on board with us to help us raise as much money as possible for the charities. And what does that money relate to? Just one of the little snippets from Hertfordshire Mind. Just £5 a month could help put that information into the local community. £10 of that could help them answer those initial calls, and £15 a month could help run up that online peer support. So literally every pound, some of you have been donating fantastic amounts, some of you have been donating just a £5, it all adds up and it all really helps. So for all the footballers dialing into the room, what does the day actually look like? It's an action-packed day. It kicks off, well, it doesn't kick off, the doors open at 9 o'clock. So 9 o'clock is when we'll open the doors to Vicarage Road, and that's the opportunity for you to collect your football shirts. And hot off the press, quite literally, our shirt sponsor for this year is Calmay, so we're delighted to partner with Calmay, the shirt sponsor for Watford. They've not only negotiated with us shirts, they've also got us shorts. So for the first time, we're going to be full attire. You're going to have to provide your socks and boots. But we're really delighted to be able to, for every team that's going to take part, we've got shirts and shorts coming your way in the colours of the country that you've been nominated to represent. You've got an hour to get ready. So for the sponsors and top fundraising teams, you get to go in the home dressing room. For the others, you might get into the away dressing room. And for the other ones who do really badly, you're going to have to get changed in the stands. Yeah, so make sure you bring underwear. We're kicking off sharp at 10 o'clock. 32 teams will be divided just like a classic World Cup. So we've got 8 group stages, and each match is 13 minutes with a 2 minutes break. The pitch itself is going to be divided into 6, so they'll be colour coded. So you just see a snippet there. I think I've got a better picture on the next page. And it is like a military operation. So it looks like organised chaos, but there's 50 people around the sides helping, making sure that every single team is in the right place that they need to be. And a reminder that for any teams that are late, you do concede a goal for every minute you're late on the pitch, so you don't want to be late on your pitch. Every team will get a minimum of an hour on the pitch, and trust me, it is tiring, so you want to make sure you bring your subs, especially if you get to the final, you'll have nearly 2 hours on the pitch. At 12:30 we get into the knockouts. Top 2 teams go through into the knockouts. The bottom 2, we don't want you to go home, you're going to go into the wooden spoon, so we want you to stay as long as possible, and we want you to enjoy the day. We'll also have a charity auction, so we've got some great prizes. We're still hunting around and going to confirm them, but they are really good, and we hope you're going to give generously on the day to help us raise even more money. At 1:30 we're going to have spectator activations for any family and friends that you bring along on the day. We're going to have activations on the pitch, so that might be crossbar challenge, beat the keeper, keep up challenge. So we have a few things where you can raise some more money and win some prizes. For those of you who have kids, for the players, we're going to have a special form that you can fill out beforehand. I think they have to be 6 up to 15. And we're going to have a training session on the pitch for anyone who has kids who's playing. So a really great experience for anyone who has kids who play football. And then the final thing is 3:15 will be the World Cup final. So after a day of football, it will be down to 2 teams to see who will lift the trophy for the first time at Vicarage Road for the Men's Health World Cup. All the details will be on the website. Just a quick snapshot of what the pitch will look like. So again, we're dividing it into 6 colours. There'll be safety nets, pop-up barriers. It'll be really easy to navigate your way around. Everyone will be, all spectators will be in the Elton John stand, so we've got that area designated for us. And then just a quick recap, we've got 78 matches in total, and everyone will get at least an hour on the pitch. In terms of managing fixtures and results, everything is done through Tornify, so if you haven't already, please download the Tornify app onto your phones. On the day when you search for MHWC, you'll come up with the event, and that's where you'll see all the pictures, all the results. We've even got awards for top goal scorer, player of the day, top goalkeeper. So keep track on that on the day to see how your team is getting on. We've also got the link there, so the long stream link there. That will be also on our website. So for those of you who want to access it on your laptop or from home, that's how you can access that. A quick shout out to the captains who are listening in on this stream or here today. The players need to sign up. So beforehand we need 8 players for each team. Some teams have already tried to put 9 players in, and I'm afraid the maximum is 8. There are only 8 spots per squad. So that's 5 players and 3 subs. If you haven't registered already, please get in touch with your captain, and they'll let you know where the link is. We can get you all signed up for a quick registration on the day. Other than that, we've already mentioned auction and raffle. We have loads of cool prizes, we have lots of money. That's pretty much it. Are you ready to see what teams you've been nominated? Yeah? Alright, before I hand, what I'd like to do at this point is to hand over to Sam, WD18, who's been instrumental in helping us.
Thank you everyone for coming today. This is our second charity event, second charity football tournament that we've run at WD18. Last year was a huge success. We raised a lot of money for some really, really important charities in the community. This year, thanks to Giancarlo, the Trust and all our amazing sponsors, we've been able to level up, and it's going to be an amazing day supporting really important charities. I've been quite open in the past myself. I struggled quite a bit with my mental health for various reasons: post-traumatic stress syndrome, anxiety, eating disorders, pretty much name anything, I've experienced it. Luckily now, at the age of 22, I'm in a really, really good position, better than ever, running the London Marathon in a few weeks, doing my dream job, travelling the world, and that's mainly down to the support of mental health services, such as Mind, for example, and of course to Watford Football Club as well, giving me that escape once a week, to be able to almost just let everything out on a match day, and something to look forward to as well. But that has obviously changed every few years, of course. So to be able to bring those together, sort of the love for Watford and the ability to support local charities, has been it's a real honour. And on behalf of Jacob, Charlie and I, we thank everyone for their support, and we look forward to the day. Thank you.
Okay, I think it is time to reveal the draw. So we've got the 32 teams up on screen. I think at this point we'd be really delighted to welcome to the stage Jonathan, Mon and Matty Forrest. Alright, we've got a bag with all 32 teams in. I think Sam's going to help us coordinate. And we're going to just literally pick them out of the hat, pick them out of the bag, and see who we've got playing this year. One second, let me just, sorry, I've just got to go.
You said the country or the thing.
I can take both. Let me supposed to be teams up here, and then we'll see. Alright, we're good to go. Okay, so first we've got Group A, first team.
First one is Greece, Riverside Rangers.
Greece, Riverside Rangers. Well done. First team, mental health charity football team, taking part the first time with us.
Got Morocco and Mind United.
Morocco, Mind United. They took part last year. Another football team that does a lot of work in mental health. Would you like to host them?
Denmark, Kiss My Pass.
There's always one, isn't there? Denmark, Kiss My Pass. That team's actually my name, though, so I'm going to have to see it later.
Monaco, Robert George.
Monaco, Robert George FC, one of our top fundraisers. Delighted to welcome them. That concludes Group A. Nice work, chaps. Let's get into Group B.
Chile, WFC under 18s.
Ooh, Junior FC. That is actually the academy coaches. No?
It's demo.
Oh boy, watch out. There's going to be some serious players in Group B.
Demo, Daniels, Gosling.
New Zealand, Manon.
Oh boy, New Zealand Manon. That is a great connection with Watford Trust, playing a pivotal part with mental health in the community with Watford.
Uruguay, F. Pachias.
Now that is Frankie, but they've actually not found the name of their team. But yes, they're rubbish, don't worry about them. They're in trouble,
Right, Ukraine, Bray Cottages.
And then we've got Bray Cottages taking the final spot in Group B, taking Ukraine. All right, I'm just going to... Working, fantastic. Great job, Jez. Let's get into Group C. Who we got next?
Portugal, Red Hammer.
Portugal, Red Hammer Demolition, long-term supporters of Watford, one of the first teams who took a team straight away.
Ivory Coast, FC by yourself.
That is a tricky one. Ivory Coast, friends of the WDA team.
Croatia, Go Cardless.
Croatia, one of our headline sponsors. We've just recruited them last week. Fantastic, they're going to take Croatia to the World Cup.
Italy, Woodside FC.
And then finally, Italy makes up Group C, Woodside FC. Tough group. Portugal, Ivory Coast, Croatia, Italy. All right, let's get into Group D.
Ghana, I Declare a Game. Doesn't have the full.
Oh yeah, I think our game of fives FC.
Sean Walker's team, friends of the channel.
Ah, Sean Walker, welcome, friends of WDA team.
Algeria, Lads Speak Out.
Oh, Algeria, Lads Speak Out FC, another football charity that does a lot of work with mental health. Delighted to have them on board.
Norway, Watford Thursday.
Hey, they're here. At the back, Watford Thursday. They are Norway, they are in Group D. And who makes up the final spot in Group D?
Sweden, Gateside Vets FC.
Sweden, Gateside Vets FC. Interesting. So Ghana, Algeria, Norway, Sweden, that makes up Group D. Hold on a second. We are halfway, ladies and gents, to Group B.
Iceland, Dini in the bottom.
Iceland, oh. I didn't know Troy Deeney has a team, but beware. Iceland, Deeney, and Football are in place of
Egypt, Mad Squirrel.
Egypt, Mad Squirrel. Hot off the press, they've got a promotional beer coming out that's going to raise money for Mental Health World Cup. Delighted to have them on board.
Argentina, The Grove.
Argentina, the Grove, just down the road. Let's see what they can do this year.
Netherlands, WFC Media, I think it's
And Netherlands, WFC media team.
Reigning champs.
Reigning champs, some of them are in
Got
the
the trophy
room.
behind each other as well. Reigning champs. Who's in the media team?
He's mad.
I'll bring my Johan Cruyff.
Rich Walker in net again.
All right, let's get into Group F.
Jamaica, Cool Gullins FC.
Cool Gullins FC. I think that's Steve's team. So welcome Jamaica, Cool Gullins.
Colombia, Atletico Madrid.
Colombia, Atletico Madrid. Interesting. Let's hope now they haven't brought any of the other Atletico guys.
Mexico, Lasso, Solid, Cree. Can't see
Oh
what it
yes,
is.
that is Mexico, the Lasso Solid Crew. Interesting name choice there.
Lasso.
England, TSP.
Oh, England, one of our headline sponsors, they took that country straight away, top security protection, they're taking Team England. Hold on a second, let me scroll up. We're now to the final two groups. So Group G,
Japan, The Rookery Inn.
Japan from the Rookery End. I think that might be a WTA team.
Big podcast.
Oh yes, the big podcast.
Got Brazil 2-0 to the BNFC.
Brazil in the room, one of our top fundraisers, and no pressure taking Brazil to the World Cup. Good luck, boys.
France, Watford's finest.
Ooh, France, Watford's finest. Some strong names in here, some strong countries. Final team for Group G.
Palestine, Roo Army.
And then the Roo Army taking Palestine to the World Cup. That concludes Group G. We are down to the final four.
Spain, Kelme.
Spain. Kelme have taken Spain, so our shirt sponsor delighted to have them on board.
Mali, Voices of the Vic.
The Voices of the Vic are taking Mali. The last two,
South Korea, kick out.
you got the Stigma and
Kick
over.
out the stigma.
They got a long one. That is a football team that works in the mental health space. Delighted to have them on board. And the final team,
Germany, Burgess Boys.
Germany, the Burgess boys. That concludes Group H. That is all 32 teams for the draw. Thank you very much, Shaz, for helping us. That concludes the World Cup draw for 2025 at Watford. Delighted to have everyone on board. We're really excited for the 10th of May. I think that's it from us. We'll see you guys on the training pitch. Thank you, everyone. Cheers.
Thank you.